Saturday on WKRP in Cincinnati, Arthur's seeing ghosts. But can they scare some sense into him?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Then swing into an all-new Tim Conway show and get carried away as Harvey Korman goes 8 and gets Tim into plenty of hot water. Outrageous comedy Saturday.
You'd think a good-looking guy living in Hawaii would have it made. But when your name is Magnum, and you're a
private investigator,
your idea of fun is danger. And when he takes a case, he takes it all the way. Tom Selleck is Magnum.
it's a pity you couldn't have been more like us.
Be sure to watch CBS News with Walter Cronkite weeknights following NewsCenter 11 at 5 with Steve Smith and Amanda Arnold.
Saturday.
She's going to give his wallet the biggest hickey in San Francisco.
Freebie and The Bean go all out to nab a grand jury witness. Then, from the creator of Dallas, Secrets of Midland Heights, Holly learns the shameful truth about her mother.
Because I saw you.
Explosive drama right after Freebie and The Bean, Saturday.
Sunday, it's an all-new edition of 60 Minutes. Then,
People ain't as broad-minded as me.
Archie Bunker defends his housekeeper's honor.
Macho, macho man.
And on One Day at a Time, Barbara drops out of school.
So now I'd like to hear both sides.
I'm dropping out of college.
All Sunday.
This is CBS.
Coming up next on NewsCenter 11 tonight, the hostages may have to stick it out another Christmas. McIlvain finds fire codes at a fancy hotel, and where disco once was is not tonight. Those stories, sports, and weather all coming up next on NewsCenter 11 tonight.
Taste the high country. Taste the high country. There's a place where they race in snow across frozen fields at 10 below, where they know what's right, but they don't know beer, and there's just one beer that's brewed up here. Taste the high country. Taste the high country. Taste the high country. Taste good.
Once you taste the high country, no downstream beer will do. Coors is brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water and its own special high country barley.
That's no downstream beer. That's no city beer. It's Coors.
Taste the high country. Climb up to Coors.
Your Bell Phone Center has a great new way to say hello with Big Hello gift certificates. They're good for giving a stylish decorator phone, or for helping someone you love to reach out and touch someone, or for giving special features like our call waiting to someone who gets a lot of calls.
Hold on, I have another call. All right. Hello?
So if you're stumped for an original gift idea, give Big Hello gift certificates from your Bell Phone Center store and ask us about charging them to your bill.
KHOU TV Houston.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Smith. Amanda Arnold will be back on Monday. Whatever hopes that the hostages might be home by Christmas apparently have been ended. Now, the latest demands from Iran are different, but they can still call for a lot of negotiation. Iran's government spokesman Behzad Nabavi sent back word through the Algerian third parties that this will be what he calls Iran's final reply. The United States must deposit billions of dollars in Algerian banks as a gesture that the Shah's wealth will be returned. The signature of the president promising the Shah's money is just not enough for Iran. At the same time, the U.S. must promise to help Iran find the Shah's wealth, wherever it is. Secretary of State Muskie was turning on a light at the top of the State Department's Christmas tree today. He said Iran has sent a long reply, which requires careful study. For the first time in 9 months, Israel tonight faces a United Nations vote by the United States which is critical of Israeli actions. The United States voted with the majority of the UN Security Council against Israeli actions in occupied Arab lands. The resolution urges Israel to allow 2 expelled Arab mayors to return to the West Bank. The Israeli ambassador accused the Security Council of hypocrisy and called the U.S. vote regrettable. Only 2 months after he resigned, former Soviet Premier Alexei Kosygin is dead tonight. Sources in Moscow say it was a heart attack. Kosygin led the Soviet government for the better part of 16 years. He was 74 years old. He, along with 2 others, replaced Nikita Khrushchev in 1964. Kosygin was what was called in Moscow a survivor. He survived the Stalin purges. His star rose and fell in Soviet politics, but in the end it was poor health, not politics, that finally forced him out of office. Another name is surfacing as a possible member of the Reagan cabinet. He's Denver lawyer James Watt, who might become Interior Secretary, but Watt is opposed by some environmental groups. He's ready for that.
No matter who the designee may be by the president, there will be harsh criticism. The department's filled with agencies that are designed to do conflicting things. So anybody there is going to get lots of criticism from one segment of the society or the other.
Of the 5 cabinet posts still not filled, 3 are unsettled, but at least 1 education secretary may go to a black person. Reagan's choice for Secretary of State paid a visit to Capitol Hill today to talk to some Republican senators. They'll have to push his nomination through the hearings next year. Senator Howard Baker, who'll be Majority Leader, said now's not the time to talk about Alexander Haig's role in the Nixon-Watergate White House, but some Senate Democrats are licking their chops at the prospect. And over the past 10 years, the population of the city of Houston has increased by more than 26%. Back in 1970, Houston was the 6th largest city in the nation. Now it's the 5th biggest, with a population of about 1.5 million. During the last 10 years, nearly 400,000 new people have moved into Harris County, boosting the county's population to about 2,395,000. One of the suspects in the triple murder of a wealthy West Houston family has been ordered to take a mental exam. Walter Waldhauser is accused of hiring the trigger man who killed the Wanstroth family in July of last year. All 3 were found with bullets in their head. Today, Waldhauser's defense lawyer asked that his client be released on bond. He said there's no evidence linking him to the crime. But prosecutors said he should be given a mental test first to see if he is capable of committing acts of violence. The judge agreed with the prosecution. He reset the bail hearing for December 29th and ordered Waldhauser to take a psychiatric examination in the meantime. A bill giving homeowners more leeway in shooting intruders. That's what the governor of Pennsylvania signed today. Critics have nicknamed it the Shoot Your Neighbor bill. They say it'll result in accidental and unjustified shootings. What it does is give homeowners the right to use deadly force if they believe an intruder has entered their homes illegally. Still ahead from the NewsCenter, some more promises by the Chrysler Corporation today. And later on, would you believe a car that gets more than 100 miles per gallon? We'll show you that and more when we come back to the NewsCenter.
Now, during Fingers' store-wide main event sale, save 10 to 27% on Fingers' entire collection of recliners. Choose your style, fabric, and color from hundreds of recliners, rocker recliners, even wallaways. Comfort and quality from famous names like Lane, Lazy Boy, Brookline, and others. Just one more example from Fingers' main event sale. On now at all suburban stores, the new Fingers Greenspoint and Fingers Magnificent Furniture Center.
When you've grown to love someone, you'd better let them know it. And if the words are sometimes hard to find, why not let a diamond show it? Corrigan's Jewelry says I love you. I love you.
Diamond Solitaires from Corrigan's Jewelers. A Diamond Solitaire says I love you.
See
Ever since Tony got a Minolta XG1, he thinks he's a great photographer. Great. Okay.
Depend on the automatic Minolta XG1 to give you clear, sharp pictures. It does the work. You take the credit.
Ever since Tony got a Minolta XG1, he is a great photographer.
For a limited time, get an XG1 and get a $25 rebate from Minolta. See your dealer now for details.
Way out west, where true Texas begins. Come on into our Western wear stores for real, genuine Texas clothes.
When you're riding high, there's nothing finer than knowing you're wearing the best. Like handcrafted Morgan Miller boots, priced from just $89.95. Boots that look good, feel good, fit good, too. From Morgan Miller at
Way out west, where true Texas begins.
More ups and downs for the prime interest rate tonight. It is up a half a point. The number 2 bank in the country, Citibank in New York, to an all-time high of 21.5%. And other big banks have jumped on that bandwagon. But one Michigan bank says it's dropping its prime by 3 points to 18% because it says the state's smaller businesses are suffering badly. Chrysler officials were promising the Defense Department today the corporation will do everything it can to get the new XM1 tank rolling off the assembly line. They blame their production delays on their suppliers and not on the corporation's money troubles. Chairman Iacocca was in Washington asking for another $400 million in loan guarantees to keep his company going. He claims the company can survive with more help.
Survive if the country survives, and the country's going to survive. It's going to be the pains of hell for 6 months if they keep these interest rates up and don't start attacking inflation. We, in our own way, in this crisis, reduced prices 6%. They went to 7%, so we rolled back prices. Now we're rolling back costs. The union and others may not like it, but that's the only way to really break the thing.
So far, Chrysler has drawn about $800 million from its federal loan guarantees. About 200 Continental flight attendants voted today on a new contract proposal. Union leaders are urging their members to accept the agreement so they can go back to work. Results of the vote won't be released until about 8 o'clock Saturday night. Meanwhile, Air Canada is trying to avoid a strike by its flight attendants. Air Canada has only 2 daily flights from Houston. NewsCenter 11's Judd McElvain has learned that a major Houston hotel's fire alarm system has not worked for more than 10 months and still is not working tonight. Judd's investigation also turns up many other major fire code violations at this landmark hotel here.
Houston fire inspectors couldn't believe what I had found out about fire code violations at the Shamrock Hilton Hotel. We went there to check it out. We found that the fire alarm system in the entire hotel was not working and had been out of order for more than 10 months. What this means is when a guest pulled the fire alarm, nothing would happen, leaving the person with a false belief they had reported a fire in the hotel. The hotel manager says they reported the alarm system out of order to the fire department back in March. Fire officials say they have no record of that report. Fire inspectors have ordered signs posted on all the alarms saying that they are not working. They also discovered that many of the fire hose outlets in the garage were missing fire hose or didn't have connectors for the hose that was there. Even a fire door was missing.
We give them a week or 10 days. I'll come back on a progress report to see how they're progressing, if they are installing it, and then we go from there.
The Shamrock management is now taking swift action tonight, and some of the fire code violations have already been corrected. The Shamrock management says cost is no factor. They plan to meet all the fire codes if they have to work all night, all weekend. The fire department has put them on notice. There will be a general inspection of the entire Shamrock Hotel. Judd McElvain, News Center 11.
A classic fragrance for a man, you must first understand women.
Oscar de la Renta, for Louis, available at Sakowitz.
We know the times are tough, to save for things is rough. Inflation's high, it's hard to buy, seems you'll never have enough. Well, you can get it now. At Renko, we can show you how. Like cramp your style, why wait a while when you can get it now? At Remco, you can get it now.
See the white pages for your nearest Remco store.
Hey, wasn't this meeting supposed to be in Poughkeepsie?
We are in Poughkeepsee, pal.
Who said that?
Glad you could join us,
What's
Baker.
going on?
A teleconference, Baker. We're meeting by phone and saving all our travel expenses.
Sure. Teleconference. Hey, what's new in Poughkeepsie?
Whoa!
Please, Baker. You don't have to shout.
What's new in Poughkeepsie?
Way to go, Baker.
Bell Teleconferencing. It's another way to get things done
As of
today.
last Wednesday, I would like to proceed with...
White and rosé. What a nice way to break the ice.
Not much going on downtown around this time of night, and that bothers a few folks. There's at least one group that feels there ought to be some excitement to go with Houston's skyline, and so tonight they're going mad. NewsCenter 11's Dan Quayer is there with one of our live eyes to explain. Dan?
These folks say nothing much going on except a few folks poking around. They're trying to change that. They're trying to bring downtown Houston back from the dead, they say. So what they're doing tonight is bringing this place wild with a parade. They've been marching on downtown Houston streets now for the past 5 minutes and then went into this club where it all started, the Riviera Club, where the man is leading the group with a saxophone. You probably hear in the background right now. And this has been the scene here for the past 30 minutes in downtown Houston. This is Tony Spain and his group, the Solid Gold, who play at the La Riviera Club here in downtown. Have you listened just a bit?
Yes, sir.
What's this all about, Tony?
Well, I'll tell you what. We're just celebrating a hell of a good time downtown, getting the Christmas feeling. And I got all these people back here having a good time. And what can I say?
It's a little cold out here. 45 degrees, the sign says. And you're out here in a short sleeve playing the saxophone.
Who feels that? Who feels that? We're just having a good time. I'll tell you what. You asked all this like, are you cold? No way. Nobody's cold. We're having a good time here at the La Riviera Club.
All right. Tony Spain and his group of Solid Gold having a little parade in the streets of downtown Houston tonight. Kind of pre-Christmas celebration, Steve.
I imagine they're getting warmed up also for the Oilers game. The last regular season appearance of the Hat is tonight, right now. Unfortunately, Dan will be back on Monday.
No, I'm going to be on vacation next week. The Hat will stay here, but only 16 appearances during the regular season. Hopefully, the Hat will be back for the playoffs next Friday. I will be back next Friday. The Oilers play their last regular season game noontime in the Dome on Sunday, but all is not peaceful in Love You Blue Land. Today, Donna Duran filed a lawsuit with an unspecified amount of damages against the Houston Oilers football team because she says the team wrongfully exploited her intellectual property. You see, Donna is the person who came up with this slogan, Love You Blue. She wrote it on a sign and hung it out at the Oiler practice field like she had done with many other signs. She says the Oilers wrongfully took that, put the trademark on it, and made a lot of money from it, and she never got 1 penny from it. So she's filed a lawsuit. The Oilers are making no comment. The players are talking about the Vikings, however, and Robert Brazil told our Matt Musil the key to winning will be defense and stopping quarterback Tommy Kramer.
The pressure's still back on the defense. We just got to stop this. Kramer's throwing the ball so good right now. He's right at 68%, which is highly, real good for the last 3 or 4 games. He's just been completing a bunch of passes. He haven't been intercepted and hadn't been sacked that much, so it's a big challenge for our defense.
Some people think that Kramer won't be playing the whole game because they have clinched. They're going to save him back. Do you think there's...
I don't see why, because the personal thing. Everybody want to go out Sunday and do their best every Sunday. I don't care if you're a clinch or have a clinch. I think he'll come in here with the intention of winning the football game. A record, their record's not as good as ours, and they need another win. So I figured they need something to push them over on into the playoffs. You just can't step down off of losing in your last game and go off in the playoffs. I think you can lift that spirit up. Everybody likes to go into the playoffs with that winning atmosphere.
I like the Oilers last week easily. I like them again easily this week to win. In our picks, we were 3 of 5, a little rebound, but we didn't win a whole lot of money, $300, but we're $5,300 ahead for 15 weeks. Not bad this year. The worst week to pick is the last week of the season, but we'll try a few games anyway. You never know what's going to happen. Let's take the Rams for 300. Let's take the Browns to cover the 4 for 300. Also, Washington to beat St. Louis. Hart is out. He is injured. New England will bet $200. They'll beat the Saints by 10 or more points. 9 points, of course, it would be an even bet, and no one would win or lose. Basketball tonight, the first annual KHOU Classic at Hall Fines. That's Houston in the white jerseys against Army in the dark jerseys. No contest, really. Rob Williams had 33 points tonight for the Cougars. They beat Army handily, 88-58. They will play the winner of the Wyoming-Oklahoma game going on right now. We have no scoring on that game, and that championship will be played tomorrow night at Hall Fines. All the money going to the Salvation Army's Christmas charity. It is called the KHOU Classic for that reason. Now, of course, if you thought that was action, there we are, the instant replay, Channel 11, whatever you want to call us. There's our Matt Musil. There I am walking slowly out on the court. Tip-off, it was ferocious as we played the kilt disc jockeys in the dark jerseys. There's Mad Dog Stebbins doing some protection. There you can see the fans are really interested there, right on the edge of their seats. I think you'll see old Patrick here in action. Look at that, old number 52, the number I wore in high school. Up for 2 points, Steve. Hey, look at all those shots I made. Can you believe that? Hey, you know, to the applause of the crowd, we beat Kilt easily, 11-4. It was fun, and all the money again going to the Salvation Army.
Get out.
Let's talk about the NBA tonight. The Rockets not as lucky as the instant replays, losing 119-133. Robert Reed, high man for the Rockets, 32 points. Malone had 15. Robert Parrish led Boston with 26. The game was tied 62-all at the half, but Boston exploded. That's the 12th straight time they've beaten the Houston Rockets. New Jersey losing to Philadelphia tonight, no surprise there. Elsewhere in the NBA, New York 102, Washington 96. San Antonio leading Golden State. That's after 3, the only scores we have in. In the Holiday Bowl, SMU is winning 32-7 at the half. And since I will be on vacation until next Friday night, may you and your family have a very Merry Christmas. We'll see you next Friday.
Merry Christmas to you, sir.
And the same.
Have a good vacation. DMSO hits the streets. That's next from the News Center.
Never has a perfume evoked such emotion. Opium Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent, a most special gift.
Discover it at the perfume bar at Foley's.
Just 1 calorie. What a beautiful drink. For beautiful people. It's beautiful to be so good and sugar-free.
Do you know me? I'm Oscar in A Masked Ball. I'm Norina in Don Pasquale. I'm Violetta in La Traviata. But for my most important role, me, I carry this, the American Express card. It says all that need be said, so I can save my voice for times when it counts. Taxi!
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
If there's a man on your Christmas list who needs dress shirts but never gets around to buying them, do it for him. Arrow is always the perfect choice. You'll find full cut and fitted styles from $13 to $19, available in both short and long sleeves, made of easy care wash and wear polyester cotton in a great range of colors and patterns. It's the kind of Christmas gift a guy needs. Arrow shirts from Foley's.
The controversial so-called miracle drug, DMSO, is being sold openly these days on the streets of Houston. It's against the law to use it on humans for medical use, but there are many who say it's a wonder drug which could replace aspirin as the #1 painkiller. Judd McIlvain found a man selling the stuff at Montrose and Westheimer. He says he's selling it as a cleaning solvent, but he's very quick to point out you can buy a book from him for $4. This book tells how DMSO is supposed to be used for many aches and pains. In Houston, the drug can be legally sold to veterinarians. They use it on dogs and horses. Dan and I have to admit, we're a little bit concerned about you tonight because here it was late into the evening and you were not back.
Well,
and we didn't know.
Had to go to one of these little mixers. There are a lot of these things at the Christmas season, and I guess the reason I got held up so long is small talk. You ever get involved in that? Like, hi, how are you? How have you been? Fine. Sure. But tonight I've made a bad mistake. You should listen to small talk because every once in a while somebody comes up with something.
I hope so.
Stick with me on this. 30 seconds for this. Anyway, I was talking to this gentleman, and, you know, at these mixers, I'm always looking up like this. And he said, you know, I don't mind winter at all. It's the cold weather I don't like. I said, well, you're probably right, sir, and walked off. That's a very profound statement when you think of it.
I'd never thought of it in those terms before. I probably never will again.
Wish I hadn't thought of it. High of 64, and that was at midnight. Our low is 44. That was the 9 o'clock reading. And I guess you're right, sir. I'm the same way. Winter is a lovely, poetic time of the year, but the cold weather is horrible. We'll have a wind chill of about 16 above later on tonight. Here's the official radar, and we're all clear as we take a look at the readings. All clear, with no real precipitation probabilities left. Looks as if we came out of this one okay as far as the situation concerning precipitation. Now, the satellite tonight continues to show this massive cloud cover over the lower Mississippi Valley, back into Texas. A little low moving up the front has carried some of it on into the Carolinas now. What's going to happen, this large dome of Arctic air, and when we say Arctic, we mean that the center of the high pressure is pulling cold air right down the continental divide into our neighborhood and dropping temperature. Well, for instance, today, in this tier of states, the zero line runs something like that for their high temperatures today, so just a very, very large stack of cold Arctic air plummeting our way. The precipitation along with the system confined primarily to the eastern slope of the Rockies, and we'll get a little upslope precipitation over in northeast New Mexico and also the extreme panhandle. There's no upper level storm with this, so that means we'll see some clearing tomorrow, but that actually is a handicap because with the clouds tonight, that's capping the temperature in a little bit. Tomorrow night, it will get downright frosty. And that's it. As far as Christmas, everybody asking about that already. Well, there's about a 2-day cycle before we warm up, and it looks as if now, by Christmas Eve anyway, we should be warm and gusty. But we'll keep checking that for you as the event draws closer and closer. This is the way it looks at 9, cold all across the state, and north winds whistling right down into the Gulf. Cloudy, cold, with biting north winds to 15, low 35. The wind chill maximum, 16 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and cold, high of 50. Cold north winds. Sunday, partly cloudy, 29. Might revise that over the weekend. Could get colder, high of 55. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, cool and dry. Highs back to the 60s by Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Tom. Hope you have a nice weekend. An aerospace engineer in Brooklyn, Ohio, has designed a car that doesn't weigh very much and travels a lot on very little gasoline. J.R. Beatty of Beatty Industries designed the Beatty car. It's a car that weighs 960 pounds but gets up to 117 miles a gallon. 117 miles a gallon. That, according to some independent testing results. 1 year of construction, 3 years of engineering refinement went into the development of this car. It's powered by a 4-cylinder internal combustion engine. When and if it ever goes on the market, it'll be available in kits costing $8,000.
The world of lower prices at Eagle Discount Supermarkets. Instead of a few specials, at Eagle, you'll find hundreds of reduced prices, literally hundreds. And because there are no limits on buying, there's no limit to your savings. Welcome to Eagle and treat yourself to key buys. You'll take home lower prices overall.
Now that you've had a chance to see all the other 81 cars, you probably once again have discovered there's nothing like a Cadillac. Tom Peacock, our dealer, would like you to compare our prices, our service, and our facilities with all the others, and you may also agree there's nothing quite like Carriage Cadillac. See the professionals at Carriage Cadillac, north on the Dallas Freeway, I-45, exit 63. Compare the others, then see the best.
Carriage Cadillac, people for the best.
Houston's nightlife has taken a sudden change. It appears in most cases one thing affects the other, such as the case of money and music. Disco, once bringing in the bucks, is now considered dead.
At least that's what many of the club owners in Houston say. People are still dancing, but the clubs in this town, most of them at least, have changed to either rock and roll or country, considered really big. clubs is what's available on the record racks. Disco has taken a back seat. Even the queen of disco, Donna Summer, has changed her beat. The big sellers now, country and rock and roll.
When the economy is low, people tend to go back to dance music. And although disco was real popular a few years ago, rock and roll is definitely coming back.
And the Ritz, once considered Houston's institution for disco with all its flashy lights, is no longer. It's now rock and roll. It calls itself Roxy.
As far as disco, people still like to dance it, but if we're going to follow any kind of trend, I think rather than go country and western, we got a place here that'll really make rock and roll scream, you know.
And so goes the story of Houston's ever-changing nightlife.
The cowboy is in. Definitely. The year of the cowboy.
Rock and roll is in. Disco